I never thought of myself as a judge. I never thought of myself as being a leader. And yet, in many ways, I came to realize that I was. Leadership is a complex thing, and there's no one way to be a leader. And you work with the tools that you've been given, in my case, a legal education, and your experience, and the opportunities and situations you find yourself in. And the result is leadership. It may be quiet leadership. I think it's a leadership of ideas and decision-making. When you are a judge, you are presented with some very difficult problems to solve. Many cases are more or less routine, but even there you have to figure out what happened, who's telling the truth, who might not be, how the law applies to the facts as you find them. But as you move up the appellate ladder, and certainly at Supreme Court of Canada, the Supreme Court of the United States, for example, you are going to get some really, really tough issues, very critical and difficult social issues on which society can be divided. Now, that's leadership by ideas, and it's leadership by listening. You listen respectfully. You don't come in with an idea and say, this is how it's going to be. Or if you do, you have to set it aside. The duty of the judge is to listen to each side very carefully and then think about each side. I used to say that my job as a judge was by an act of imagination to try to put myself in the shoes of each of the parties, almost in the sense that an actor doing a movie or a play would try to get inside the skin of a role. And even if the party is not very savory, perhaps it's clear they've done something very bad. You're sentencing that person, for example. You've got to at least think about what you're doing from that person's perspective. When I realized that helped me a lot as a judge. It's really, really about listening to all the different positions and considering them very deeply, and then doing what you think is right on the precedents and the law. But on these difficult cases, it's often possible to go one way or another. There's no one single right answer. So your leadership is a leadership of ideas. Courage comes into it too, because you have to have the courage to sometimes take unpopular decisions that you know might not be regarded by everyone or even the majority of people as the obvious choice. So you have to have the courage of your convictions and the courage of the law too. People are entitled to the benefit of the law, and the judge is just the instrument to give them what they're entitled to. And sometimes to do that, the judge has to, it's not a popularity contest. The judge might have to do some unpopular things, but judges have to have the courage to sometimes take the lead on certain issues, if that is where the law is leading them.